First thing you need to do is open the BreatheLink software. Find the BreatheLink icon on your desktop and double click. Then create a new user. Add in their name, date of birth, weight, height and gender. These values will give you normalized data when using the testing section of the software. The testing section of the software allows you to assess respiratory muscle strength. Access it by clicking the Test tab on the home page. Ensure you press the play button straight away so that it activates the K5 device. Now that you're in the Test tab, the patient should be instructed to breathe in as hard, fast, complete as possible from residual volume. Encourage the patient to generate sharp curves, which indicate that the patient is using their primary inspiratory muscle, the diaphragm, to generate that inspiratory maneuver. Now that you have 3 repeated curves, these values should be used as your objective measure of respiratory muscle strength. Save this session by clicking the Yes button, select an RPE rating, and now you're done. Now, let's have a look at James running through the testing phase of a consultation.
So Liz, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to test how strong your breathing muscles are. And we're going to be testing your inspiratory muscles. Okay. So the main inspiratory muscle is your diaphragm. Okay? So your diaphragm is at its strongest point when your lungs are completely empty. So what I'm going to get you to do is breathe out completely, sitting up nice and straight in front of the computer. And then we're going to do an aggressive, fast inspiratory maneuver. So it's going to be breathing all the way out, then breathing in through the PowerBreathe K5 device as hard and as fast as you can for a full breath. Okay? I'm going to have a look at that, and we're going to get real-time feedback on the strength of your diaphragm, and I'm going to try and coach you through so that we get a really good baseline indication of how strong your diaphragm is. Okay. Make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. So the first thing you need to do is just grab the device in your hand, make sure that you don't cover up that valve at the back, create a good seal around the mouthpiece. You can breathe out through the device. So breathe out all the way through the device, and then in as hard and as fast as you can for a full breath. Cool?
Yeah.
Perfect. So sitting up nice and straight. Breathing out completely. And in hard, fast, complete. Good. Okay. So on the back screen here, we can see how much pressure is generated over time. So what I want to see is a really steep increase in this pressure generation curve over a short amount of time. Okay? And that shows me that the main muscle that's being involved in that inspiratory maneuver is your diaphragm, because your biggest inspiratory muscle is your diaphragm. So if we get a big pressure generation over a small amount of time, we can say that's a true reflection of the strength of your inspiratory muscles or your diaphragm. So it needs to be really, really aggressive to start with. So something like this. So breathing all the way out and really, really hard. Okay? So have another go.
In other words, you suck.
It was a good first effort, but we can do better.
Okay.
So all the way out. Squeeze all that air out. Nice and straight then. Really hard and fast. Beautiful. Okay, so that's a lot better. You can see a really sharp increase in the pressure to a max before 0.2 of a second, which is very good. And then as your diaphragm's contracting, it's losing its force generating capacity, so we drop the pressure. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so your max is saying that your max inspiratory pressure, or the maximal force generating capacity of your diaphragm, is 88 centimeters of water pressure. So that's how much water your inspiratory muscles can displace. Just like a measure of kilos, like how much weight your diaphragm can lift, we measure it in centimeters of displaced water. Okay, so I'll get a couple of goes just to make sure it's a true reflection, and then we'll save this data and we'll compare it next week after you've done some training, and hopefully we'll see some increases. So when you're ready, another one. So all the way out, then really hard, fast, complete on the way in. Good, we're getting better. Okay, so that one's saying 96. So we've improved a little bit. You're getting to know how to do the maneuver. So we're learning a little bit and we're obviously improving. So I want to get some consistent results. So have another go. If we get another one around that mark, that'll be okay to record as your baseline strength.
Well, that was
Good.
shocking.
It was shocking, but it was still good. So because your diaphragm does lose its force generating capacity as you breathe in, it's really only that first part of the maneuver that we're interested in, okay? I say complete because I also want to sort of have a look at how that curve fades away, but really all I'm looking at is this part here, okay?
Yep.
So you are getting better every go, so one more go. Hopefully it's only one more go and we'll get a nice consistent run. I think you're around about, you're hitting your max now. So all the way out. Perfect. Okay. So that's pretty good. So 106, and I can just have a little look here. See what this guy is. It's about 102, so we're not differing by more than 5 centimetres of water pressure. So I'm going to take these two as our baseline and call your baseline inspiratory muscle strength as 106 centimetres of water pressure. Okay? Like I said, I'm going to save this data and we're going to review it when you come back in a week. Okay? So now I've got a baseline indication of how strong your breathing muscles are. Now I can work out around about what resistance level you should be training at. So during our first week of training, we generally train you between 15 and 30% of that 1RM value, of about that 106. So nice and easy, around sort of 16 to 32 centimetres of water pressure. But that's quite a wide range. So what I want to do is I want to get a little bit more specific and get a more individualised training prescription for yourself for this week. So I'm going to get you to breathe against some resistance for 30 breaths, see how you cope to breathing against that resistance, and then we're going to set an exact value for you to go home and train on.
So first of all your details are in here, not from the last section. But what we're trying to do is gain information about how strong it is, your diaphragm. So blowing all the air out, and I want you to try and get air in as fast as you can. So like, that's like that. So what we're basing your strength off is your ability to get as much air in.
Suck it in.
Suck it in as fast as you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and how fast?
As fast as you can. Okay. So what I'm thinking about and what the research shows with regards to performance enhancements, in particular in singing, and you let me know, is what are you after in singing is control of the tone, but that's expiratory, right? So you've got a volume of air in your lungs or in your diaphragm, and then you're pushing that over your vocal cords. If you've got better control over that, you've got a better tone. But for me, it's about how quickly you can get the air in. You might be in a rush to get to the next phrase or the next verse.
Yeah, for me, it's always about trying to have enough air left to get through and so that's why, like in the last year and a bit, I've had to start actually doing real exercise because I'm not 19 anymore and can't just like belt it out. So it's always because I never want to have to struggle. Yeah, that's what you're saying is right. It's like I don't ever want to have enough air to hold a note or hit something. I just like to
hit it. Yeah. And that's exactly right. So if we can get air in quicker, so that gives you enough time to prepare for the next section, but also volume. So they're the two things that we're going to work on. If we can get more volume in, it's going to let you run out less quicker. And if we can get it in faster, that's going to give you enough time to prepare. So that's essentially what we're going to focus our training on and what we have done. But also with the physical side of things, for Jamal's purposes, we're doing some exercise and things. So he's pretty physical on stage, running around being an A guy. If he's puffed at that, and then he's got to do all this singing stuff as well, like it's just a difficult interaction. So we're trying to combat it from both sides, both from a diaphragm and respiration perspective, but also from a physical perspective as well. Cool. So grab that guy. Breathe out through the device. All air out of your lungs, and then hit it hard. So again, okay. So and however you want to do it. So
whenever I
nice
start,
okay.
Yeah.
Good. Just stop there for a sec. So good. So what you can see here is that steep curve there. Okay, that's awesome. That's what we want to see, but I reckon you can bust it a little higher. you'll see the top there. Here, this is for your age and for your size. You're about 178 centimeters, 175. Yeah.
180.
Yeah, 180. Yeah. You're a little under the mark, but you'll get up to there, I reckon. So just have another crack. Good. Breathing out. So we'll just do it nice and slowly, nice and slowly. All the air out, all the air out. One more time. Good. Okay. So we've got, I reckon we can get, you're at 93 centimeters of water pressure. I think you were, I'll go downstairs and check what you were last time. We can improve. I would want to see you around 140. That way, stronger diaphragm, we can increase flow rate. So without a doubt, we're going to get that air in quicker. Okay. Without a doubt, we can increase the volumes as well. Okay. So I think